Are live in Atlanta. I'm trying to figure out, first of all, we couldn't connect to the internet. We're in a hotel. We have some Lioness Justice Impacted Women's Alliance hot shots on the scene. Lori, Angel Carroll and Lori Mellinger are in the room with us, and we are here. I can't even do the music, guys. I mean, I might.
Don't touch that.
You're scared for me to touch anything. Can we look at the chat?
Yeah, you can look at the chat.
Because I see Carrie. And look, this is what I'm talking about. Carrie,
it's coming in hot.
Thank you, Carrie. You are giving explanations. Is it canceled? Judy, I'm so sorry. Stephen, I'm so sorry. We're sorry that we weren't here. What can we say, guys? I couldn't figure out my MacBook and the internet.
So we're using, guess what came to the rescue? This Google Pixel. This Google Pixel, that my face is all in the camera. So you need to apologize. We are super close, and you know I had strep throat this week.
I'm sorry. We're going to talk like this. We have to be like this. This is the only, can we, guys, we're happy to be here. We are in Atlanta. We flew in today. And met up at the airport. Thank you for being patient with us. We see you guys hopping on, and we're so appreciative of it. We are here. Why are we in Atlanta?
Well, we're hanging out and eating pizza and just going. No, that's not the only reason we're here. We're here for a conference on higher education in prisons. It's a whole conference just about higher education in the prison system.
So I don't know, Jennifer, a year ago, I didn't even know there was an organization that committed themselves to higher education in prison. It's a national organization.
Yeah.
The Alliance for Higher Education in Prison. And it's a big deal. It's a lot of people. I look at my mama coming in hot. Mama's in the chat, and she's on her own Google account. Angel Carroll, get in here. So we're system impacted women. Angel, tell us, you're going to be talking on 2 panels tomorrow.
Yes.
So get in the light and tell us.
Come to the light.
Yeah, come to the light.
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about my work with Measure. We're a Black woman-led research organization. We believe that lived experience is data. And I also used to teach in the DC jail and taught career and professional development for returning citizens and folks that were currently incarcerated with the FBOP. So I'm super excited to talk about that experience.
We're excited. We're seeing a lot of people already in the hotel that I'm like, they look like they might have gone to prison and maybe they're here changing their life. Kind of. Did you? Lori, you're the bomb. Lori Mellinger connected my MacBook. I don't know if we can switch it up at this point.
We can't, but
Not me being the youngest and not being able to figure out.
Can you tell? Can
Way
you
to go, Millennium.
I know.
tell everybody hi?
Thank you, Lori, to the rescue.
Okay, that's the wife that I always talking
Oh
about.
my God! Stop it! You're a liar.
Wish you weren't such a liar.
So we're going to be talking on some panel discussions. Angel's in a couple panels. She told you about that. Toonche, tell us. And hey, let me say this part. Guys, we're on the Rec Yard Women's Prison podcast. We are live in Atlanta. It's a lot of different setup because we had lots of technical difficulties. Thank you so much for hitting the screen, hitting that like button. Thank you for your comments. I see you guys in the chat. Rayanne, I see you, girl. Steven, I see y'all. I'm so, Mama Sean, Al, I see you locked up at the Walls unit for 8 years. See you guys, Rhonda. So Toonche, tell us what we're talking about. We are at the National Conference for Higher Education in Prison.
Okay, I'm just trying to get everybody in the shot here, Marci.
Well, we're
Oh, look, so we'll just talk real loud, and people next door will be like, "Can someone go escort them out?"
right.
So one of the panels that we will be on is a panel that Linus proposed. And that is system impacted women talking about advocacy, which would be legislative work. But then what do you do when legislation fails? So that will be the discussion for our panel.
How many people do you think are registered at this conference? Any
Oh
idea?
God.
I mean, it's national. I've talked to
Yeah.
people from Chicago, California. I mean, coast to coast, maybe 1,000.
Angel's
That's a
been
lot.
seeing everybody.
Yeah.
And the hotel, what we do know is we are in this giant hotel. They are completely booked because of the conference. And Mama Sean, my mom, shout out my mom coming in hot, loyal on Wednesday nights with us. So what we know is the Thursday conference will be live streamed. For our part, it may be a situation where we're going to have to get creative because I don't think, are you too old to sit like this?
I'm in my knees.
Y'all are on the end
Knees.
table, guys, if you want to know. This is what kind of situation. We are literally in the hotel room, Angel, Lori, and I looked for the best lighting. So I set you guys under the lamp
It is
so
good
we
lighting.
could look cute, but it's affecting Toonche's knee.
Well, I'm gonna sit up here.
Yeah, but you can
Look, I'm just gonna look dapper and lean in.
92 people.
Wow,
That's
a lot.
Lori Mellinger said 792 people that are just registered on the conference app. And it's Wednesday night. The conference hasn't officially started yet. So you're probably coming in about right. Over 1,000, I would bet.
Y'all want to put
So,
Nice.
oh,
we're gambling?
No, we're not promoting gambling.
No, we're not.
But yeah, I bet that you're about right. I think I can sit like this and just have my little head down.
Well,
here.
I'll just hold this and
Yeah.
can I do the panorama? Look.
What are y'all
Patricia.
most looking forward to?
I'm excited about meeting new people. This is kind of a new realm for me. There's a lot of people in this space that not only did they get their higher education or begin their higher education while they were incarcerated, then they came out here and ended up with master's degrees and, that they just really continued their education. So I have to say the first time that I was around folks like that, I was a little intimidated, and I don't think I have that in me now. So now I'm going to be like, yeah, make this connection, make that connection, hear people's stories. I think I'll be less shy about it. What about y'all? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm trying to turn the.
Yeah.
Here we
Lori,
go.
Tell the audience what you're looking for.
Tell us.
Camera, Lori.
Is it? Yeah.
Which really makes no difference whether I'm on camera.
But we
Because I can
love-
still be defiant.
I understand, but
Lori did not agree to come on the podcast, so we need to give her that. Did you give the middle
I
finger?
don't know what to do right now because she's going to be really upset with me later.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're in trouble.
Why are you terrified?
See, Carrie's laughing. Marci is shy. I can be. I have a little bit of the imposter syndrome going on sometimes. And Stephen said he started college on the inside. I see Kelly Kerr is here. Thank you. And he's just transferred to a university for criminology and criminal justice bachelor's.
Congrats.
That's wonderful. We're so proud of you. Stephen's doing big things in his area for the prison system, changing things and making waves where he's at. So we appreciate that. And Kelly says there wasn't college when she was there. Are you
I
looking
look
at your
really
necklace?
cute in this. I'm sorry, I was so distracted. What was the question?
The question is, what are you looking forward to?
Well, Lori didn't answer us.
Well, she doesn't want to,
Okay.
and you're not going to pressure
I just
her.
thought she meant she didn't want to be on camera. Well, what I'm looking forward to is, first of all, spending time with everybody in this room. They're my fave people. And then, of course, Alexa too, but she had to do stuff for work right now. But networking, like really getting to know other people at other organizations, make sure people know what Linus is and who we are. So, and I'm really excited to talk about those differences between men and women in Texas prisons for higher education, because some of the colleges still don't get it. TDCJ, they get it. but some of those colleges don't, and they will be here. And I can't wait for them to hear
Oh.
our panel.
Oh, some of those colleges are the college that I went to while I was incarcerated, and that's Central Texas College. They're having a hard time getting their paperwork together for the Pell Grant. So we're going to ask them why they don't want to do the paperwork so that women in Texas prisons can have equitable access to higher education as the men.
Boom, boom.
Yeah,
boom.
that's, and I didn't know they were going to be here.
Oh yes,
So,
TDCJ should be
well,
here as well.
that's exciting.
Yeah, I love getting them
Okay.
fired up.
Yeah, we're going to rattle some cages while we're here. Yeah.
We're disruptors.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. We didn't do a weekly recap, but I need to do a shout out to my wife. I do have my wedding band. I did get married this past weekend, guys. We had a wedding. We were in Dallas, and she may or may not be watching because she's home with grandmother and they're doing their own thing. But yeah, it was a really good, beautiful service. And you guys have been showering us with well wishes and messages since this weekend and comments on pictures and all of that. So thank you all. Love you all. Thank you for being a part of it. And I could just tear up. It was a small service, and it was literally just my very closest friends and family. And it was just intimate and really incredible, right?
It was.
So, yeah.
It was really
What
beautiful.
else happened this week? Anything? The wedding took me over.
Yeah,
That's
then
all
I
I
got
can think
strep
of.
throat. I got strep throat, and then we were preparing for this, and I have a grant that I need to finish when I go back to my room. So what was going on with you this week?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm running for office, so campaigning. We finished our special session. Well, we finished the third special session, and then Governor Abbott called another one. So school vouchers, horrible immigration bills are back. So once I get back to Texas, we will continue the fight at the state capitol because there will never be enough fires at the capitol. So, but all good things, all good things. We're all doing the work in our respective areas. So I'm just excited to be along for the journey and the ride.
Yeah, most definitely. Guys, that's Angel Carroll. She is running for House Representative District 52. That's just 52. 52. So you guys get to know her, look her up, follow her on social media. And I don't think I can add that because I'm not in the
Don't
normal
touch
place. I am
nothing.
touching things, and it's here, and I
Okay,
am adding
well,
it.
Here we go.
I'm showing it.
Bam!
Does it show right? It looks like it's wrong. It looks like
It
it's
looks jacked up.
cut, so just hide it.
Okay.
Well, she's Angel for Texas.
Yes.
Angel for Texas on all social media platforms. You guys want to follow her, support her campaign. She is justice impacted. Jerry earned 2 college degrees while she was
did.
incarcerated. Congratulations. Kelly has a question. How's college paid for?
Why was my eyes so big right there? I look shocked. So college is usually paid for through what they call reimbursement. I'm talking about Texas prisons is the reimbursement system. So you have to be eligible. You can't have certain crimes. You can't have certain amount of time, or they'll either you're not eligible or they'll cut you off. And so what it is that the state will pay for your college class, but when you get out, you have to pay in parole fees. So when I got out, I had several thousands of dollars that I owed my parole fees. Now, a lot of people have said, well, I have student loans, so it's the same thing. You got to pay your loan back. Yeah, but you don't go to prison when you don't pay your loan back, right? So if we miss those payments, those are actually technicalities that they could send us back for prison for. And depending on your officer, I mean, my officer, as long as I paid $5 on it, she didn't care. But I had other officers. The one at the parole house, at the halfway house, I haven't had my medicine. I hear Lori laughing. But she said, and I didn't have a job, right? I just got out. I was on that monitor, and all I had was a little check they gave me. That's $50. And I said, can I go to the Dollar General store to get some more hygiene things? And she goes, no, ma'am, you don't need to go to the store. You hadn't paid that $50 can go towards your fees. And I had to pay my regular fee, of course, and then my post-secondary reimbursement fee. And she wouldn't let me go to the store.
What?
Yeah. She got better over time, but she was like, if you have money to go to the store, you have money to pay this fee. And I'm like, ma'am, this is $4,000. This $50 is not going to make a difference, but that's how it's paid. Or you want to pay out of pocket.
Yeah. So we did have people that were able to take classes and pay just because they either had an inheritance. I have one friend that had an inheritance on her account, and so she paid for her college. I did reimbursement. I was able to pay for a few, and that was because my family, I didn't pay for it. I was just fortunate enough that my family paid for a few, and the same thing, I owed several $1,000s, and I was paying it off a couple $100s every month. And then all of a sudden I got a new parole officer, and he's like, you're not traveling again until this is all paid off. Like, it was just, that's it. And you guys know I traveled quite a bit, and I was really upset about that, but we made it happen. So yeah, that's how that goes. So what we're talking about with the Pell Grant is that there's a couple colleges that offer classes, 2 or 3 colleges, or just 2 main ones that offer colleges in Texas.
So around the state, like, because it's such a big state, a lot of there's different regions, and they have different colleges that go in. Now, the big colleges that we're talking about that are big providers is Lee College, which services the men. They do a phenomenal job. Brandon and Tracy will be here. We'll see them later. They are formerly incarcerated guys that work at Lee College. They have a reentry program. They have just a plethora. All the things that they told us were not possible was happening for Lee College. Now, for the women in Gatesville, that's going to be that region is Central Texas College, which used to be a very robust college program, but not quite anymore. Now they're getting a little better, and I have been in some communication with them recently, and they're having a graduation in December, but still not sure about that Pell Grant stuff. And the reason is because there comes a lot of paperwork, a lot of reporting, a lot of extra requirements that, they've been coasting. Let's be honest, they've been coasting with the women's units for several years now. So it's an added, I think, with anybody, it's an added burden, I guess, but we're going to help them see why the investment is important.
You have to invest in education.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to you next, Angel.
Yes.
I'm wondering, why do you think that higher education in prison is important?
Yeah, so one, I think there's a lot of science that shows that education and our carceral systems make facilities safer. Education gives people purpose. We deserve purpose, right? We should be learning. These institutions are not built to be rehabilitative. I think that education, intersection, and peace is extremely important. Also, when I taught in the jail, it was just amazing to work with my guys and to see how excited they got to learn, and then to teach each other. Like, hey man, you're not understanding this. Let's work together. Education is powerful. I've seen it transform the lives of individuals, regardless of your background and ability. It's kind of a no-brainer. I don't know why we're arguing about education, but somehow we are. So hopefully Texas can quite literally get its shit together.
Yes, definitely. I was thinking about a college story about getting in trouble before college, and how I lost my privilege to go to college while I was incarcerated one time. Literally, I was in a cubicle style housing dorm. So you guys can imagine office cubicles, but the walls are a little shorter, and you can spread your arms out and touch both of your side bunkies, but there's a little metal wall between y'all. Anyway, so I'm walking down because it's time for college and they haven't called it. And so we're confused, like, why have they not called us to school? What's going on? And I'm walking to the front of the dorm to ask about college. And as I'm walking by, one of my fellow college students, shout out Laquita Davis, she's like, hey, Marci, have they called school yet? And I paused. Instead of like walking and talking as I was walking, I paused for a moment and I was like, no, I'm fixing to go ask what's going on. I'm fixing to go see. And the officer saw that and she wrote me up for out of place. That out of place case went major, which means it was a stricter violation. And if you have a major case, you cannot attend college. And so because someone was asking me if they had called college and I broke a rule by pausing in the walkway, I lost my privilege to go to college. You also lose that money. It's not like they kick you out and you get your money back. I still had to pay for that.
Mhm.
So
I think too, like the fact that education isn't seen as a right is really frustrating and dehumanizing, to be completely honest. And we really have to change that conversation. I don't know how it is in Texas, but I know even in DC, we had a lot of larger universities, right, that come in and do classes. And one of the things that frustrated me the most is once our guys would get out and return back to their communities, they couldn't enroll in their colleges. Their classes didn't transfer, or there was always a reason, right? And we have to figure out that bridge so that once people get out, they can use their certifications, right? We've seen that with some cosmetology programs in the state and other programs. We have to make sure that Texans are able to use their degrees in their classes to continue on after when they reenter into society.
yeah, excellent point. Getting those things so that they're on the same playing field out here so that those credits are transferable and people can continue their degree. Jerry said she was on track for her master's degree and got out and didn't kind of finish it. And I'm wondering if some of those obstacles might have been reasoning for that. We have some more questions. They're asking about pricing. What are the prices compared to free world classes?
So the fees, like when you would take a college class out in the world, it's like parking and library and like all the fees that they add on to that. They pretty much, we don't have those fees. We still have like books, some research fees, and then the tuition. So, while it may sound like a deal out in the world to only have to pay like $1,200 for one class, when you don't have an income and you don't have family support and you can only do one reimbursed class at a time, it took one friend, 10 years, 12 years to get her bachelor's degree. So yeah, I mean, it is cheaper, but when you don't have a job or employment, it's not that cheap, and it's tied to your parole fees. So Lord Jesus, I need to make sure that I pay my fees before I go to the Dollar General store and get a deodorant.
Right. I see you guys in the comments. Shelly, I see you. Okay, pricing. Do they do any credit checks when they're doing? It's not a credit check. So the main thing that they're looking at when you qualify for reimbursement is your likelihood that you're going to be on parole
To pay it back.
because they want to see that they're going to have that hold on you to have to pay it back. And then it has to do with your charge also. So some charges weren't eligible for that. And I think that during my incarceration, it got a little more lenient on what charges.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty strict. And then around 15 or 16, I feel like it got a little bit easier for more people to be able to qualify for that. And I want to make sure I'm hitting y'all's questions. It's so weird seeing us in the same room. I'm in the same room. I'm blessed to be able to be in the same room with these amazing ladies often, fairly often, and it's always a pleasure to be around these powerful, intelligent women for sure. So what else do we want to talk about? I don't want to.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
We're all sleepy.
Yeah, we don't have to stay the whole hour,
But
even
we
though
got
we started late, because it is just like a different format, and here we are passing around the phone. Also, I want to say that for those of you that listen to our podcast, and I'm just have it on Jen while I'm talking. Those that you guys that are listening, and you listen maybe on Apple Music or Spotify or wherever, iHeartRadio, wherever you hear your favorite podcasters that you listen to on the Rec Yard. Last week's was cut short. We need a producer. So if you want to volunteer to be a producer, we would appreciate that, because the upload somehow may be messed up. And so we're going to fix that. We got a few messages talking about it only uploaded 17 minutes. And so we apologize for that audio. We're going to do better. I feel like we do better
We do better in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not seem like that this evening.
Yeah. And I was trying not to panic as I was not connecting to the internet and all of that. But I appreciate you guys for being patient, writing it out with us and hanging out. How much are the payments when you have to go pay? So the parole reimbursement is not set up as a certain payment minimum that you have to make. And so it's tricky because you can have a parole officer, like one of Toonche's parole officers, that said, hey, as long as you're paying something, even if it's $5 a month, that's great. Or you can have one that says, you can't do anything else until that's paid. Like it's
Right.
so odd because there's no regulation saying, hey, you're going to pay it back $100 a month, or you're going to pay it back $50 a month. There's no regulation. It just says, hey, but I think the way it's worded is before you get off parole, this has to be paid. Right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's really tricky how that works. But thank goodness mine's paid and yours is paid, but ours got paid because we came with a little bit of privilege, right? Family support, jobs, these kind of things that a lot of people getting out of prison don't have access to. They don't have access to extra funds. A lot of people getting out of prison, it's a stretch for them to make their regular parole fee. So that's intimidating when you're incarcerated and you want to get an education and you want to do something to further yourself and open more doors when you get out. It can be intimidating knowing that you have to pay that back. What happens to individuals who can't pay in time? They're asking in LinkedIn.
So if you any of your parole fees, if you can't pay them, that can be a technical violation. Again, it's very much up to your officer in terms of when you get violated for it. So it's really hard to answer that. It just depends on your officer. Some officers will let fees go forever, and then you miss one and you're done.
Right.
You're violated.
Right. Yeah, it can be tricky. There's no really rhyme or reason on if they're consistent or not. Like Kelly's saying, they need to be consistent. There's not an across the board answer for that for sure. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that CARE Act next week. I wonder if we could talk about how they're thinking about taking that CARE Act away.
Yeah, we can.
So next week, basically during the coronavirus, the feds released 13,000. Angel Carroll, House Representative, District 52. She's heading out.
Good night, guys. I'm tired. I'm the old soul, and I got it. So I'm gonna see you all later.
Yes.
It was great seeing you all. Y'all have a good rest of your night and be great.
Yes. Thank you, Angel. So basically in the federal prison system, they released about 13,000 people that were high risk to get ill and also low risk for as far as their charges. It was like nonviolent charges, that kind of thing. So they put them on house arrest, ankle monitors. They let them go to work, but they were being monitored with an ankle monitor. Out of that 13,000 people, 27 people, that's all that had a recidivism.
Damn.
27. It's a successful
Incredible.
program, and it's at risk to getting taken away. It's at risk right now for all those folks that are on house arrest, working, supporting their families, to go back to prison. Like people that have been home for 2-3 years, they could just go back. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Okay.
That sounds great. That's,
Let's do it.
I'm tapping- I'm
She's out.
fading
Toonche's
fast like
gone,
a
guys.
flower, like a rose.
Tucci's gone. Okay. Ankle monitors were about $500 a month. Can you be sent back to finish out the original sentence and be hit with another charge? No. If you don't pay your parole fees, that's not a new charge. So you would just be sent back to finish.
I'm sorry, I didn't explain what a technical violation is. A technical violation is just the conditions of parole. They're not a crime or anything. They're just part of your parole conditions.
So not a new charge. Lori Mellinger's fading out. We're going to wrap this up. Guys, I'm sorry, no music. I'm sorry. It's so crazy. I'm sorry. The format's different. And
You want me to sing?
no, absolutely.
I saw Priscilla.
God, no, that's a new charge.
Yeah, that's a new charge if Toonche sings. We love you guys. We are live on the Rec Yard every Wednesday night, Central Standard Time. Thank you guys for liking the live. Thank you for sharing it. If you're listening wherever you hear your podcast, please send us a review. And I'm not gonna, and Toonche is
Y'all
gonna.
look at my shirt.
I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna go. Love you all so much. Thank you for everything, for hanging out and all of your support. We appreciate y'all. And I don't know how to end the live.